Thank you very much for attending directly after on. I don't wear my own shoes right now. Still missing in the collection some that fit more to the business style. I'm going to speak to you about Casafari. My name is Nils Henning. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Casafari. And what I want today is that you keep one thing out of this session. And what is Casafari? It's basically the entire real estate market under one roof. And this is exactly the problem that we are solving. So as we all know, real estate is by far the biggest industry in the world, and by far the biggest asset class in the world. But the big issue is real estate still stuck in analog times. And it is what I experienced by myself, the slowest industry to innovate. I'm in technology for more than 15 years. I was in video games, I was in fintech, I was in ad tech. Then I came to prop tech. And I thought, oh my God, it's so slow. And pre-COVID or pre-pandemic, it was literally impossible to close a single deal without an in-person meeting, even if it is a small brokerage. Everything online was just impossible. This changed. It's changing rapidly. But now think about real estate, the biggest industry in the world. And think about it deeper, you will see that there's a lot of chaos and no transparency at all. And I'm pretty sure all of you were in the situation of either buying a property or renting a property. And I could ask you right now, but I don't do it, who was happy with the experience? I think I would see 0 hands going up, because nobody was happy, because the data is just such a mess. For the most important transaction in our life, it's about living. The problem is because this data is spread on thousands of websites, portals and so on. Everyone claims like we are the market leader, we have the inventory, but in fact, it's just advertising places, and there's not a centralized database in real estate. And this is exactly what Casafari is doing. So what we do, we had the idea in buying property by ourselves, we had exactly this painful experience, and we thought ourselves like, why there is not a centralized database that has the entire history of every property in the market, that knows exactly what is happening on the lifetime of a property in the market, and where I simply go and I know about any kind of market trend in a location, any kind of cap rates, yields, developments, and so on. And we understood, unfortunately, this data is nowhere, neither structured nor in one place, so we needed to build the Google for real estate, index the entire web, do this multiple times per day with more than 30,000 sources. That's basically every relevant website of real estate information, portal, agencies, wherever you think about real estate in the web. We index this data, we unstructured data, we clean it, we deduplicate it as one container, as a property, and then we measure the history of this container on the market. Which agency is listing, delisting, exporting to a portal, dropping the price, other agencies listing it, going into reserved status, being sold. And by this, we know exactly on the entire inventory what is listed in the market, what is happening over there. Where do we do this? We do this right now in the main continental Europe. We launch commercially in Portugal, Spain, Italy, France, Germany, soon, Switzerland and Austria as well. Like what I said, we index the entire web with more than 30,000 sources, but right now we also have external sources of information. We are connected to the land registries. We have closing prices, transactional prices in Spain, in Italy, in France. We have socio-demographic data, we have OpenStreetMap data, we have footfall traffic, we have traffic data in general, so we know a lot about the location and not about the property itself. What do we do with it? We basically organize everything into one ecosystem. And in an ecosystem, we have so far more than 350 million property listings indexed and deduplicated for the purposes, on the one hand, of monitoring the market, monitoring the own portfolio, either being a real estate agent, being an asset manager, private equity real estate, a bank, insurance company, everyone. We built an MLS, literally a virtual MLS, to source property, to collaborate together with agencies. We have location intelligence. I will speak about it later. We have, of course, the entire purpose of valuation and underwriting and market analysis. We work with SaaS applications, workflow applications, and as well with APIs. This is the flywheel. I will not go much deeper into it, but basically, we help in the workflow in the entire circle, from lead generation to buyer leads, finding the right property, doing the valuation, following the real-time market trends, up to the closing of a property, and following up with the buyer and the seller over the lifetime. For whom do we do it? Casafari is B2B. We are the biggest B2B company in real estate right now in Europe. And we serve all stakeholders in the market. We started bottom-up. There are a couple of other companies who went top-down. Bottom-up means we started with real estate agents, real estate brokers. And we have more than 40,000 of them already using our technology, single users. But out of these, and out of aggregating the data, out of having more data, we started to work with other stakeholders, investment funds, valuation companies, private equity real estate, asset management, and so on. As a company, 2024, we are between 10 and 20 million ARR, EBITDA break even, and we have a split when we think about SaaS and APIs of 75 to 25%. But what I said before, we know everything about every property in Europe. So whenever you want to buy something or rent something, send me an email. I tell you the history. This is the power in negotiating the price. But one thing we didn't know anything about the location. But when we think about real estate, it's location, 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 as we all know. So what happened in terms of the location? We acquired this year a company in Berlin called Tagomo, a company in location AI and location prediction, founded in 2013 out of the Hasso-Plattner Institute, with a lot of expertise in geospatial data, operating in 25 countries, mainly in retail and commercial real estate, operating with franchises. Biggest client is McDonald's, Vonovia is a client, Bio Company is a client, many others. And it was for us an extension into another real estate segment, commercial retail. And of course, what Tagomo didn't have was real estate data. What we didn't have was location data. So obviously, a very strong match. And what they do, basically, they help to make better and faster location decisions. So they try to understand, in the end, all patterns of success of stores, of retail networks, and they turn them into actionable insights to be able to forecast even sales KPIs of locations instantly. Separated into two products. One product is Tagomo Loop. It's basically everything about the location that you can visualize on maps. So it's also a competence that we brought into Casafari. And then they have Geo AI, what is basically a prediction of the location. And to give you one very good example, and without saying right now the name, but just taking a random example, there's a restaurant network, and let's say they have, in fast food, they have 200 restaurants. 50 of them are skyrocketing, 100 are doing great, and 50 are in fact a divestment case. And now you have an expansion team and a real estate team sitting there and thinking, why? And what Tagomo does, they take the company data, revenues of location shops, traffic data, footfall traffic, car traffic, socio-demographic data, spending power, points of interest, everything into account. And then they do an analysis on the correlations of all of these location factors and the success of locations. And out of this, they come with white mapping, so basically an idea where to open up the next branch, the next restaurant, what is the impact on competition, what's the cannibalization within the own network, and what are, in the end of the day, the areas with the highest potential. Who's behind Casafari? It's myself, but I have two strong co-founders. With Mila and Mitya, we do technology companies for more than 15 years. We are backed by very strong investors. Lakestar, one of the sponsors here, was doing our seed round, but we also have Starwood Capital, Starwood Ventures on board, Prudence, PropTech VC out of the US. We raised so far around 30 million euros. Yeah. Last slide, directly in time, 20 seconds. Casafari on a big scale, so we have more than 40,000 professional users, paying users using our technology. Behind it are more than 5,000 clients. As a company founded in 2017, 160 people right now on the team. And basically, if you have a look at the companies working with us, it's every name in real estate who's relying right now on Casafari. exactly in time, 5 seconds. Thank you very much.